hitting the streets of London today asking people about genders, what is a woman, what is a man, and it's hard, man. It's hard to get people to answer this question. Hey, I'm in Soho because it's a lot easier in Soho to chat to guys, isn't it? What is a woman?
Oh, one of those? What they're born with.
What is a woman?
What is a woman?
Yeah.
That's a hard question.
It is a hard question, right? How would you answer it?
Like a woman?
Yeah. Do you see yourself as a woman?
Yes.
And if someone was to ask you what a woman is, what would you say?
Hard to say. I never think about this question before.
Cool, I appreciate you guys. Thank you. What is a woman?
I'll refer that to my better half.
No, I'm not.
I wouldn't have the first clue.
Do you feel like if you said what your maybe initial thought is, you might offend someone or something?
Possibly. Oh, yeah.
Have you got an answer? No, I haven't. What if I asked you what is a man?
Same answer. I'll refer to my better half.
If I was to say a man is a provider, someone that can look after their family, someone that goes out and works hard, I'm not saying women can't do that. Would you agree with that?
Your words.
Yes. Have you seen that guy that identifies as a broccoli? He's a fucking legend. He's always been a broccoli. I swear to God, he's been a broccoli. The banner is up, bro. He's always been a broccoli. Show him the clip. Show him the clip.
I've always been a piece of broccoli.
Really?
Yeah.
So do you have a job?
I just grow. Yeah.
How are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm great, thank you. What is a woman?
Oh no, I don't want to answer that question.
Why?
Well, that's too complicated.
I feel like people don't actually say what they think, and I want to know what the public want to say about that.
Why do you want to know that?
I want to be able to explain to my kids when I have kids one day. That's what I want to know. So if you had to describe what a woman is, what would you say?
I don't know. Honestly, I would have to think about that.
Would you have to think about it because you might be judged from what you say, or you don't know what to say?
I don't know what to say.
And do you think you don't know what to say because of like today's society, or?
No, I think today's society is great. Like,
Think so?
yeah.
Then why don't you tell me what you think a woman is then?
To be honest, I really.
That's what I'm asking, but okay, I appreciate your time, thank you. Quick question, what is a woman?
Right there.
What is a woman?
A woman? Very sacred person still. They need to be protected.
Come close.
A woman is a form of a gender. A gender?
Biologically, they were a woman, but then they were trying to identify as something else.
Me personally, I believe you can be whatever you want in this life, but in like 100 years, people are gonna dig up the ground and they're gonna find you. They're gonna look at your DNA and all that stuff. There's only gonna be two, male and female.
Facts, but you're on camera.
But right now,
No, that's fine, that's fine.
gender, you can be anything. I don't mind.
Okay, good. No, that's great, because every person I ask, they're scared to answer, bro. They're scared to answer because they think there's a wrong answer. So like, I see what you're saying, but okay, so if I was to ask you, what's a man, what would you say then?
A man is what you view yourself as. A woman could, like, someone born female could wake up tomorrow and say, oh, you know what, I'm a man. That's all right.
How do you identify yourself?
Straight, male human being.
What is a woman?
Depends in this day and age, I think.
It's a hard one to answer, right?
Well, it is. Some people objectify women, but then you got to realise the pillars of your actual life are because of women. I only just learned that recently.
Where'd you learn that?
I learned that through trial and error of my own problem.
Okay, I appreciate the answer. How you doing, sir?
Not too bad, how are you?
Question for you. What is a woman?
A woman is something. Basically, you just do as they tell you. It's easier.
So that would be your opinion on a woman.
Yeah, they've got all the power and we just live along with it.
And what if they argued differently? What if they said, no, hold on, this is a man's world? What would you say to that?
How can it be a man's world when women control the men?
And if I was to ask you what is a man, what would you say to that?
Somebody does as he's told normally if a woman's involved.
What is a woman?
Someone that makes you a better person.
That's a great answer. People are too scared to answer that. I don't know why. Do you know why people are not answering?
I have no idea.
And if I was to ask you what a man is, what would you say?
Ooh, it's a tough one. I don't know.
Do you think you don't know because of like...
Society, I don't know. It's the way things work now.
Are you worried about answering it in case you say the wrong thing?
No, not at all. I just don't know.
What is a woman?
Depends in this day and age, I think.
It's a hard one to answer, right?
Well, it is. Some people objectify women, but then you got to realise the pillars of your actual life are because of women. I only just learned that recently.
Where'd you learn that?
I learned that through trial and error of my own problem.
Okay, I appreciate the answer. What's a woman?
Opposite of a man.
What's a man?
Opposite of a woman. So you better start finding answers. So what do you think a woman is?
The opposite of a man. This might be old school, but I'm like, I think a man's provider for their family, for their friends.
Agree. They do the same thing.
They can do the same thing, but...
can. So
Alright.
it's about capability.
No, I'm talking about they can and... Well, okay.
Man come from a single woman.
No, of course.
A man and a woman at the same time.
Okay, no, that's great. Yes, you're right. Everyone can do everything, but gender-wise, specify what is the difference. That's the question I'm asking.
A woman can decide to call themselves a man, and a man can decide to represent as a woman.
And what do you think about that?
each to their own, innit?
You don't care?
No.
What if you had kids and your kids are going to school and there's 20, 30 different genders happening? Would that be a problem for you?
No, they're allowed to find themselves. So maybe being around all of that is learning, but they can't get lost because then they can wake up on Monday and want to be this, Tuesday want to be that. I'm guidance. They're allowed to do whatever they want to do. That's the truth. My mum didn't get to structure me how she wanted to. She influenced. That's what you can do, innit? It's just influence.
Sounds like she did a good job, bruv.
Yeah,
Appreciate you guys. Thank you guys. At one point, I didn't even know how to reply to him because I was like, how do I reply to this? It's fucking great. That's what I want, man. What is a woman?
Look, I just want to say it's a very sensitive subject, so I'm going to refuse to answer this question. The reason why, I'll tell you a story, yeah? So my partner, we're at a pub and then there was this person who identifies as a woman. And then she complimentary said, you know, you look fantastic and you look more female than I would ever look.
Okay.
In a very like naive but like complimentary manner, and we got kicked out of the pub. And so
You got kicked out of the pub for that? Where was this?
East London. That's why I'm not going to comment on that, bro, because there is no right answer. So I think we live in a time where anything and everything is offensive, and I feel like people take the opportunity to be offended by anything also. From my point of view and my perspective on life, it's fine. She does have like a valid reason to say so. But what's even more funny was the guy on the door. He didn't even kick us out, but the security guy was a Rasta man. He was just like, that's God's creation. A man is a man, a woman is a woman. And I was just like, mate, if you want to keep your job, just don't say that.
What is a woman? What is a man?
She identifies one.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, there's not really any kind of like traits or qualities or like characteristics I'd say that like pertain specifically to like what someone who says they're a man is, or what someone who says they're a woman is.
What about their biology?
That's just like gender at birth, but I feel like you're welcome to define who you are afterwards.
Okay. So, okay, what if I was to ask from a science standpoint, compared to how you would identify yourself, then would you answer that differently?
Biologically, yeah, but there's still like a bit of gray area for people who literally have like no clear biology in between.
Okay, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, I think when you're speaking about it from like a biological standpoint, it's quite like black and white.
Yeah.
But when it comes to more of like what we call like identity, it's a bit more grey and kind of more fluid.
Okay, how do you identify yourself?
Fluid.
Okay. And if I didn't know what that was and I made a mistake by saying he or she or whatever, would you get offended?
No, if it's like a first time thing, I think it's okay. But that's a personal thing to me because I'm not too bothered by it personally.
Okay. But if I was to do it 2-3 times, you'd be like, yo.
Yeah, like if I've clarified and you're like doing it, I'd be like, oh, could you not?
And have you ever been through that before?
No, I think once I've clarified, people have always been pretty respectful about it. But I'm also not really like opening up about this sort of stuff to people I don't really like get to like random people.
So you don't feel the need to be like, this is what I am, this is what's happening?
No, because I think I've had the privilege of never being super like in a closed-minded environment that I feel the need to break out. I've always been like allowed to be what I want to be, so I've never felt the need to kind of force it. Hi, I'm this.
Amazing. What about yourself? How do you identify yourself?
I identify as a man. Taking offense to it comes from a place of being constantly like, I'd say like oppressed, or like kind of going through like a certain like hardship of expressing who you are and like coming to terms with like your identity and having others accept your right to express who you are as a person.
Appreciate your time and your time. Thank you very much, legend. This is how I learn. I learn by talking to people, right? I'm trying to learn so when I have kids, I can educate them. Do you know what I mean? Legit, like the world's changing. We got to keep up.